Fountain City is a meeting place, it's a coffee house, it's a lot of things to a lot of different people, and I think it's a matter of interpreting what those meanings are to figure out what the true meaning of a coffee house is.
Fountain City is the local coffee shop. Locally sourced, locally owned, family owned, pet loving.
We really think about our product and what we do. Like, we're thinking about what's going to go in your cup before it even gets near your cup. We'll take a green coffee bean and make that thing taste like the best thing you ever had in your life. There ain't gonna be no Folgers, ain't gonna be no Starbucks, but if you come here and try it out, it's gonna be probably the best little bean you got, at least here, maybe in the whole world, but at least here in Columbus, it's gonna be the best thing you can taste.
So Fountain City was opened in 2003 by a couple named Kevin and Christy Welch. I got hired in 2005. I didn't really think I was gonna get hired when I went in for my interview, because Kevin was wearing Umbros and Tevas, and I showed up wearing a button-up shirt and a pair of khakis. When I first started, Fountain City was more of a party atmosphere. It's like downtown in general was just a different place. It was kind of like the Wild West, because there was only a couple businesses that had been open for a while. From 2013 to 2017, I ran Fountain City solo. I did every aspect of the business. I roasted, I did the books, I did the schedule, there's nothing that I wasn't doing, and it completely burnt me out. I appreciate that my sister and brother-in-law stepped in to help keep Fountain City going. My sister Libba definitely views Fountain City differently than I do. I'm sure it holds a special place in her heart, but I think that it's important to her because it was important to me.
My role at Fountain City is I am one of the owners of Fountain City and Bake Shop. I say my official title is taste tester because I like to taste everything that comes out of the kitchen and the roasting facility, but I also help with the packaging and the branding and the whole look and aesthetics of Fountain City. All small businesses have their struggle. Maybe the backside of business was not my brother's strong suit. He makes the beans taste great, but maybe his eye to detail in the packaging and whatnot was not there, and just the financial part of it. Fountain City is very much like a shotgun, that there's windows on the front and that's it. And there was a lot of blank walls. So that's one of the reasons I asked Gary Pound. I saw him doing sketches when he went to Costa Rica or somebody of like the locals. And I was like, well, that would be so cool to highlight that at Fountain City so you could see all the different people that come to Fountain City.
When I first started working here, there was a very, very heavy communal vibe that once you got to know the people within the first few months of working here, like, you knew not just what their orders were, you knew like how their days were going, like what they're doing, like how their families are going. So my name is Nolan Temple, and I am a barista, and I also roast the coffee beans for the business, assistant-wise. So I used to be a closer a lot, and that was back in the day when we still closed at anywhere between midnight up until like 2013 or 14 to when we closed at 10 p.m.
Because when we used to close, it used to be like way later. That's definitely the thing I miss the most, because like it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning, you get like the last kind of people out there, and then we would kind of like lock up, go out, have some drinks, come back, finish cleaning, and then close up and then go back for last call. And then you just wake up and do that again in the morning.
But I had a good buddy named Harry, who me and him would always close every weekend night. But basically, like when we were closing together, we would go out and have a good time afterwards for the most part, and look forward to the next evening. We'll put it that way.
As like where we were like a young king in our 20s, and now we're sort of like that growing professional, like trying to like make it. Because now we are very much more focused like on the morning, like business people coming in and that sort of vibe. So I mean, that's the cool like transition, because it is like sort of like that growing up.
I would have never came to Fountain City Coffee if it wasn't for the open mic nights when I first moved here. Thursday nights here used to be a whole different ball game. You know, it could be very low key. You know, it could be only a few people in here, but for the people who knew and wanted to do something, like, you know, there's not a lot of open mics that give you 15 minutes to do whatever you want to do, whether it's a cover or an original stuff, you know. You want to do poetry, we're down for it. Comedy, we're down for it. It did a lot back in the day. I get now with COVID how like it's not really too keen on like trying to get a lot of people back in that space.
And then with COVID, I mean, it's just, you know, closing for 2 months and then trying to reopen and figuring out how to navigate this new world that just kind of sucks.
It's like right when we first opened up, we weren't letting people inside. It was definitely a sort of a different sort of vibe to it because we were just like serving people at the door. One morning we were there working, and then one of our regulars, Sherry, she came in and she gave us each $100. And then we all, she left and we all just like started like tearing up.
You know, we shut our doors. That's when we really vamped up our website and started selling beans from the internet. My brother was delivering them.
I think, I mean, we're here. We did it to the best of our ability. We're still open and we're doing well. But I think one of the biggest things we've done is we've started to expand our wholesale business.
So we roast twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's a little bit of dumb math mixed in with a little bit of dumb science. Thank God it's on a computer screen. And I press a few buttons and I dump the stuff in. I look at the beans and they look good, they smell good. Seal that up and you know, we bag them up and get them ready for sale. There is a lot that goes into roasting beans, but for what I do here and what we do for the community with our beans, it's pretty good. You know, Judd's the mastermind behind everything. You know, I'm his little puppet. You know, he tells me the stuff, I try to learn about it as I go. But I mean, that guy knows how to make some blends of coffee. We have a really good system for the product that we make, and it definitely works out, and you know, people enjoy it. So, morning people are the most consistent regulars that we would ever have, which probably still to this day is the same. You know, Jenna, Lundeen.
Oh, that's one. Jenna's been coming in for longer than me for sure. So actually, that's a good one to point out too. Jenna and Henry.
I'm just a customer. I'm told that I'm a favorite regular. Some people say the favorite regular. There is an actual drink that was named for me, which was bizarre. One day on a whim, I'm just like, hey, could you just make me a triple and put like 1 shot of chocolate in it and like go from there? And I was like, okay, this works, this is really good. It was just a, you know, hey, I'm doing this drink, and Dad had no idea what to say. It's like, just tell them to get what I've been ordering, Dad. That triple with chocolate, that's just gonna go outside of his head. And I'm just like, they know by now after a couple of weeks of that. And Dad was just like, the thing she gets, the Jenna special, that one. And then he just started calling it that. And then like people would be like, okay, I know what he means. We just kept seeing everybody being interested more and more and more in this drink. And so I just made a button for it, and like now it's a thing, and it's the most bizarre thing ever. A lot of people don't realize this, but like my kid when he was born, he had a whole lot of medical issues. That first year, I was clinging on to any lifeboat, anything that I could have to stay afloat. And like literally the only social interaction I could force myself to do some days was to go and get coffee. It was the only place that I felt safe. Like this, here, going and getting coffee, this is a bit of normality. This is a chance that I might feel for 5 minutes like I'll be okay. And honestly, every single person who's worked there has been a part of that over the past decade. I needed that constancy in my life when there were a lot of other things that were up in the air.
Fountain City gave me a place to be myself and become the person that I am now. So without Fountain City, I don't know where I'd be.
I start my morning every morning at Fountain City. I mean, it's part of my routine. It is maybe like a second home, and it's my outlet.
It's like the center of like everyone I know, and like the people closest to me and who I like choose to spend my time with. So it really is sort of like a home for me.
For me, Fountain City Coffee is family and friends and happiness and safety, really. there's not much it doesn't encompass, but those are the important ones. It's the only place I feel safe some days.